Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in today. For this video we're going to be going over the newest summoning event as well as the new side stories that have been dropped. They actually came out a little bit before the event started, so people have already kind of taken off with them. But first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do some summons for this one. I did it the last time, but I only had 10. This time I have 100 to do, so let's get into it and see what we can get. So I guess the next time I should probably skip the this little animation thing, otherwise it's going to be a much longer video than I would have probably intended. Easier to analyze them as you get them too. So that time it's mostly fodder. Let's go ahead and turn on that little skip button this time. All fodder again. 2 dark or 2 demon girls, which is good though. Makes doing the event a little bit easier. Himoto, not too useful. Again, fodder mostly for Amazon at this point for me. So that's not too bad. I do need more forest or fairy fodder, so that's fine. Nothing that time. Mostly fodder again. Wukong, again, also fodder, but it's really good because I'm looking to make Dracula my next 10 star, so I do need a lot of ghost fodder, so that's fine. Same thing again. With these summons, one thing you have to keep in mind is that they're mostly going to be fodder. Again, another Himoto. Toyo, again, more fodder. I think that's the end of that for now. So let's actually get on to the... Sadly, we didn't get too much from the summons this time, but let's see what the actual... So we have the value pack, which is pretty standard. This one's pretty good for people who are looking to make a little bit of a push into the summoning event, of course. Capsule points are going to be pretty hard to get. I saved up everything I could since the last summoning event, and I only managed to get the 100 that you've seen there. I didn't spend any in between, so 100 was the best I could do as without paying to get more, and that's with completing most events that I could up to the point where they would give advanced capsules. So if you're going to look to make a dent in this event, you're going to either have to save up for a very long time or look into this value pack. The special gift pack is the same thing. It's pretty high value because you get a lot of gold, a lot of gems for a decent price. The skin that comes with this one is going to be for Dracula. It has attack, crit, and crit damage, which is pretty good. It's not as good as speed, obviously, as I've said plenty of times, but at least all 3 of these stats work together for a singular function, so that's nice. Sometimes they split up like health and crit and some weird stats like that don't really synergize as well. So at least this is singular minded. It's great. Don't really like the skin that much myself. I also don't know if Dracula really needs these things. It's good, but speed probably would have been a little bit better. Although she's faster than most targets she tries to stun anyway, so I don't really know if she even needed a skin. The capsule point reward is going to be, you're going to get a bunch of event seals or the enroll seals, as well as more tokens to do more summons. And of course the new girl Linky is going to be available if you can complete the whole thing. I'm going to do a specific video later this week about her and where she fits into the meta, because she's a little bit specific. She's not as obviously broken as someone like Phoenix was, so it's going to be a little bit more in-depth and you get to actually see what her nuances are. A big part of this event too though is getting these girl replace materials, the diplomas. These are very important if you've happened to make a mistake on your team and you just wanted to push to get a level 10 or a 10-star girl, and then you have to replace her, because if you made something like Himoto 10-star, you're probably not going to want to keep that. So getting these is a great way to fix that. And since they're at 300 points, they can be a little bit difficult to get, but you can do that by missing a few of these. So even if you're free to play, or if you're only a low pay to play player, you can save up, you can skip a few of these capsule events, and then go on to save to 300 points so you can get one of these, which will make your end game a lot better, because you can then actually pick and choose the girls you want a lot easier while still not handicapping yourself in the middle, so that you don't have to wait to level up your girls, which is what a lot of people do. And it is the correct approach, but it also means that you're going to have a hard time progressing if you're waiting on very specific 5-star girls that you just do not get. The mystery pack, again, this is one of my favorite events. We're going to start with the first one. The 10 coins for 1,000 is a pretty good purchase. It's the best value you're going to get for those, so I can't see not purchasing it. The 2001 has the Super Casino tokens. I don't really like the casino tokens so much, but I do like the gear. The same can be said for the level 3 one. The enroll seals are excellent, but the gear really takes the cake here. You're going to want as many sets of 4-star gear as you can, especially from these easy sources, because in order to get 5-star and then 6-star gear, you're going to need a lot of extra sets of these in order to level them up in the forge. So get as many of these as you can. I recommend buying all 3 of the first ones. This one, unfortunately, is not the greatest. 6k for Angel and then 20k chisels. The chisels are nice, but most people are not going to be able to use Angel in a meaningful way. So this would be the one I'd probably skip if you don't have the gems to get them all. The level 5 chest, though, having the Swiss Army knife is great. This is one of the better antiques you can get. Not so much because it has a specific function, it's just a very high DPS antique. The fact that you can get crit and attack on the same thing, and it's not dedicated to a specific faction, like you don't hit stronger against warriors or priests or something like that, makes it very universally good. And that means that no matter what teams you're fighting in PvP, you're going to have a good time with them. So that is something to look forward to, and it's something to invest in. And I personally would definitely buy this, especially since it's attached to 25,000 guild coins. That's great. And then on top of that, free Dracula. Couldn't hurt to pick them up. I'm going to buy all of these except for the 6k one, I think, and I would highly recommend most people do the same. The capsule pack basically just means that whenever you summon these 2 girls, Linky or Hottie, you're going to get free gear from that. And since the rates of summoning girls right now is higher because of the capsule event, you're more likely to get them, and it's just free stuff basically. It's not an event you really participate in, you just get more stuff. And last but not least is the graduation event. This, I think, is one of the more underrated, because especially on Facebook, I see a lot of people saying to not even bother with this and mostly focus on the assembly. However, I can't agree with that, because the amount of chisels and pet food you can get from this is incredible. And while people might think that pet food falls off and chisels fall off, that's really not the case unless you're looking at very late. Like if you're looking at 2 years into the future, then you can complete your team perfectly. You'll have a fully leveled up pet, you'll have all your crystals leveled up completely with the perfect stats, but even then you can always move on to making a second and a third team like that for varsity. So you're going to need a ton of these resources. I would not underestimate the value of saving up your graduations for this place and for this event. I personally do. One of the few things, especially as a free-to-play or low pay-to-play player, you can actually put your time into. You can save up for these without having to spend a ton of money and just get more resources out of it. You're basically just doing the same stuff you would have done anyway while getting a bonus for it. Now, the next thing I want to look at, though, is going to be these side stories. And what they have done is they've released a completely new game inside of the core. And what you do is you basically play these chapters where you're given a set amount of girls, and they're always 10-star, or mostly 10-star. Some of them they have like 10-star levels, but they're only given the 6-star icon, so I don't really know how they factor in the stats from that stuff. But you're given a set of pre-selected girls. They'll do a fight based on what stage you're on, and if you win that fight, you get to progress to the next stage. But in between stages that you win, you get to pick either something like more girls, you'll get a variety of different girls you can pick from, or you'll get things like auras that you can pick from, or pets. Well, you only get to pick one pet, of course, but you can get different auras as well. And these auras are probably the most important part of this event, or not event, sorry. This is an oncurring thing. This is going to stay past the event, but it just released recently. So I'm going to wait for this to finish so I don't keep getting interrupted by these noises. Alright, so as you can see here at the end of this one, I've been given a choice between Gambler, Chevalier, and Susan. And what I'm going to do is I'll pick Gambler. I think she's the best one out of these. And now it depends on what kind of comp you're looking to go for as well. And for this one's a little bit tougher because Toyo is garbage, but Nia serves a certain function and Gianna serves a certain function. I personally would probably go with Gianna, 'cause at least as swing, like she can swing a fight one time, but that one's a little bit harder. But each fight you do like that, you're going to get more options. Basically, the biggest thing I can see so far from this is the auras are incredibly important, and barring the very first mission, the Phoenix Reborn mission, anytime you can get crowd control based auras, I would go for it. The only exception is this one, because the last fight you have to face is against a full angel team, and because of that they have a crowd control immunity debuff, and it becomes hard to crowd control them. So for this one, you're going to want to focus on basically physical attack and damage mitigation as much as you can. If you can get a healing team and get the healing buff aura that comes up every now and then, that can help you as well. But for the most part, the other ones, you're primarily going to want to focus on getting crowd control, because especially there's an energy fluctuation, there's a dazzling light, and I think the last one is spreading fear. Those 3 auras, if you can get them by the time you get to the last boss of each of these missions, you're going to have no problem beating them. They're very easy, that combo. And the girls that you pick doesn't even really matter that much. It matters slightly, of course. You don't want to just troll and pick garbage characters because you're messing around. But if you create a half-decent team and you have those auras, you're going to have a very easy time completing these. They give you a bunch of free resources, and at the end, most of them give you a little emoji that you can use in the chat, and then the last one gives you the hottie skin that I didn't expect them to use this as a skin, because it's used in the title card of the game. It does look a little shoddy, I gotta say. I don't think they put a lot of effort into this one. A lot of the lines seem really unclean, and it doesn't seem polished, if you guys can understand what I'm saying. But anyway, guys, this video has gone on way longer than I've wanted it to. Thanks to everyone who stuck through with it to the end, and as always, guys, have a great day.